We'll start this morning with some big breaking news, positive news for Arsenal.
Rodrygo's first training session as an Arsenal player was always going to be a spectacle, the kind of moment that supporters dream about when a marquee signing is confirmed. After weeks of speculation, negotiations, and excitement surrounding his move from Real Madrid, the Brazilian forward finally set foot on the immaculate pitches of Arsenal's Sob-Realty training centre in North London, officially beginning his journey in red and white. The atmosphere inside the training complex carried a unique sense of anticipation, as teammates, staff, and fans alike waited to see how one of Europe's brightest young attackers would blend into Mikel Arteta's carefully constructed system. The day began with a familiar Arsenal ritual for newcomers' introductions inside the dressing room, where Rodrygo was greeted with applause, handshakes, and smiles from his new teammates. Gabriel Jesus and Gabriel Martinelli were the first to welcome him, the Brazilian trio quickly exchanging words in their native tongue, instantly breaking any tension. Bukayo Saka followed with a cheerful grin, while Martin Odegaard, Arsenal's captain and Rodrygo's former teammate from Madrid days, offered him a warm embrace, symbolizing not just friendship but also the renewed link between their careers. The squad's acceptance was immediate, reflecting the family-like atmosphere Arteta has cultivated over the past few seasons. When Rodrygo stepped onto the training pitch for the very first time in Arsenal gear, cameras were waiting. Club media staff captured every stride, every smile, and every touch of the ball. The images would soon flood Arsenal's official channels, sparking a social media storm among fans who had been counting down to this very moment. To the untrained eye, it may have looked like a simple training session, but for those present, it was the unveiling of a new weapon in Arteta's tactical arsenal. Rodrygo's pace, technique, and flair were all on display within minutes of the session beginning, drawing murmurs of approval from players and staff watching closely. The opening drills were light, focused on rondos and passing patterns designed to integrate Rodrygo into the team's rhythm. Arteta stood nearby, giving gentle instructions, reminding him to take his time, and encouraging him to trust his instincts. "Enjoy it," the manager said with a smile, clapping as Rodrygo spun away from a defender with effortless ease. The Brazilian's quick feet and composure in tight spaces drew applause from his teammates, especially when he managed to nutmeg Jacob Kiwior in a tight rondo circle, sparking laughter and playful shouts across the pitch. As the drills moved toward attacking combinations, Rodrygo's qualities shone even brighter. Linking up with Odegaard, he exchanged swift 1-2s before sliding a precise ball into the path of Saka, whose low cross was turned home by Jesus. The move felt almost scripted, the kind of sequence that Arsenal fans have imagined since the signing was announced. Watching from the sidelines, Arteta nodded approvingly, his eyes already envisioning how such chemistry could translate into match-defining moments at the Emirates. But training is never just about skill. Arteta demanded intensity, pressing, and tactical awareness, and this is where Rodrygo's experience at Real Madrid became evident. He pressed with urgency, closed spaces intelligently, and tracked back when required, earning an appreciative pat on the back from assistant coach Carlos Cuesta. The message was clear: Rodrygo was not here to simply add flair, he was ready to buy into Arsenal's philosophy of collective hard work. The shooting drills that followed provided the highlights that Arsenal's cameras were desperate to capture. Rodrygo, stationed on the left flank, received passes before cutting inside onto his stronger right foot, curling shots into the top corner past Aaron Ramsdale. On the opposite side, he combined with Saka, drifting centrally before unleashing low drives that tested David Raya. The finishing was clinical, composed, and delivered with the kind of confidence that fans expect from a player arriving with a world-class pedigree. Each goal was met with claps and shouts from his teammates, reinforcing the sense of excitement building within the group. Off the pitch, there was as much intrigue as on it. Reporters camped outside the training ground, eager for tidbits, while fans glued themselves to live updates across Twitter and Instagram. Every clip released by the club instantly went viral, with Arsenal supporters dissecting his body language, his chemistry with teammates, and even his smile during warm ups. Hashtags like Rodrygo is a Gunner and Welcome Rodrygo trend globally, with supporters in Brazil, Spain, and England joining the conversation. For Arteta, however, this was just the beginning. The Spaniard had a clear plan for Rodrygo, not just as a winger, but as a versatile forward capable of playing across the front line. In training, he experimented by moving Rodrygo into central pockets, asking him to operate between the lines and link midfield with attack. Odegaard and Declan Rice provided support, while Martinelli stretched the width on the opposite side. The fluidity was striking, hinting at an Arsenal attack that could become one of the most unpredictable and dangerous in Europe. The session ended, as always, with small-sided games, where Rodrygo's competitive spirit emerged. He scored twice in a short match, one with a curling effort from distance and another after pressing aggressively to win the ball high up the pitch. Teammates congratulated him, while Arteta simply offered a knowing smile, the kind reserved for managers who understand they've just gained a game changer. As the players jogged off to complete their recovery, Rodrygo lingered slightly, taking in the sight of his new surroundings. The Soap Realty Training Center may not have been as familiar as Madrid's Valdebebas, but it represented a fresh start, a chance to write a new chapter of his career in the Premier League. For Arsenal fans, this was the beginning of a dream they had long awaited, seeing one of Brazil's brightest stars don the red and white in pursuit of glory.